When the Carthaginian army descended from the Alps, Rome perceived a dark omen, a grim harbinger originating from the very edges of the known world. None could have imagined that this general, weathered by snow and sacrifice, could stand upon Italian soil with an army prepared for combat. Yet, there he was, the Gauls of the Po Valley, witnessing the men who had survived the continent's most formidable mountain range, believed the gods protected this foreigner. They joined his cause with fervor. For the Romans, the enemy was no longer a mere rumor. He was a reality advancing with the inexorable weight of destiny. Rome responded in the only manner it knew, by deploying legions. Consul Publius Cornelius Scipio, who had attempted to intercept Hannibal in Gaul, returned hastily by sea to Italy. He mustered troops in the north, determined to contain the invader before his Gallic allies could augment his strength. Polybius chronicles the inevitable collision, the Battle of Ticinus. Though a minor engagement in scale, it was symbolically monumental. On that open field, Hannibal demonstrated that his Numidian cavalry was a nearly supernatural force. The encounter was brief. The Romans, relying on their heavy infantry, advanced without perceiving the enveloping maneuver Hannibal had orchestrated. Within minutes, the Carthaginian cavalry outflanked the Romans, dismantled their formation, and sowed chaos. Consul Publius Scipio himself was wounded. He escaped only through the heroism of his adolescent son, the youth who would later become Scipio Africanus, Hannibal's future rival. Thus history intertwined two destinies on a minor battlefield, foreshadowing a jewel that would define the ancient world. Alarmed, Rome dispatched the second consul, Tiberius Sempronius Longus, an impetuous man, brimming with self-confidence and eager to secure swift glory before his term expired. Polybius describes him as brave, but governed by a dangerous ambition. Sempronius arrived in the north with a fresh and numerous army. He sought to destroy Hannibal immediately, and Hannibal was well aware of it. The Carthaginian general, though victorious, commanded an army exhausted by the Alpine campaign. He required time. He needed to weaken the enemy without risking a premature frontal assault. Consequently, he initiated a war of attrition, harassment, Numidian raids, unexpected maneuvers, and calculated plundering designed to provoke the Romans. He knew Sempronius would act impulsively, and the new winter was fast approaching. The terrain became a sea of mud, temperatures plummeted, and the rain turned to ice. Amidst this cruel climate, the Carthaginian general prepared the ground for his first major victory in Italy. The Trebia river ran frozen, its surface nearly static with frost. Hannibal understood that nature would be his ally. He positioned his brother Mago with an elite force, 1,000 chosen infantry and 1,000 cavalrymen, hidden in a ravine near the river. The cold would do the rest. It would numb the Romans, hinder their mobility, and decelerate their reactions. At dawn, he ordered his Numidian cavalry to provoke the Romans, to attack, simulate confusion, and retreat on feigned desperation. Sempronius, exactly as Hannibal anticipated, took the bait. Without breakfast, without allowing his troops to light fires or regain warmth, he ordered his entire infantry to cross the freezing river in pursuit of the supposed fugitives. The legionaries felt the glacial water climb their legs like daggers. Their breaths turned into thick vapor. Their cloaks became soaked, Their shields grew heavier and their muscles turned lethargic. When they finally reached the far bank, they were shivering, their skin bruised by the cold. There, Hannibal's army awaited them, well fed, warmed, and anointed with oil to resist the winter. A human wall of Hyperions, Gauls, Libyans, and war elephants observed the Romans suffering with implacable serenity. Then, the battle commenced. The Carthaginian infantry advanced with resolve. The cavalry wings enveloped the Romans from the flanks. As the enemy center began to stretch, its ranks wavering from cold and exhaustion, the masterstroke appeared. Mago's ambush struck from the rear. Thousands of Romans were trapped in a triple crossfire. The disaster was absolute. The Trebia became a river of blood. The snow that had fallen during the night was stained crimson. Cries mingled with the roar of elephants and the clashing of iron. Sempronius barely escaped with a handful of men. The bulk of the Roman army was annihilated. Polybius asserts that this was the first true testament to Hannibal's strategic genius on Italian soil. He did not merely win, he selected the terrain, the weather, the timing, and the psychology of his adversary. When the battle concluded, winter descended upon the Po Valley with relentless force. Hannibal allowed his men to camp, tend to their wounds, and celebrate the triumph. But he did not celebrate. He studied maps, consulted with scouts, and planned his subsequent moves. He knew that Trebia was merely the beginning. Rome, though wounded, was a titan of resources, discipline, and the collective will unified by the Senate. And that titan would not rest. As the Carthaginian watchfires illuminated the frozen night, General BARCA looked southward toward the heart of Italy. He knew 2 more battles awaited him, colossal engagements that would be etched forever into the memory of mankind, battles that would define his name, battles that would bring Rome to its knees. The Trebia had been the opening act, but what followed would be grand. It would be terrible. It would be legendary.